Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am Rock, the wisdom therapist, and let's look on something interesting that might help you in your life. I have found an interesting conversation on Reddit and wanted to go over it with you and hope that it will help you in your life. So, realizing you will never be rich. I come from a family with no education and no money. I never starved or was homeless. I'm not stupid nor smart, just average. I got a bachelor's degree, the first in my family, and working to a kinda low wage, but that's how it is with the field of work I'm in. I like the job. I have a student loans though. I have the money to rent a not great 15 meters apartment, have an old car and travel a bit, which is an important part in my life. And that is it. I won't be able to buy a house or apartment in the area I'm from, and buying a better car is a bit out of my reach for the next few years. Going on a luxury vacation? No. This will be my life. It's under the standard in my country. Maybe that's why I'm a bit bummed, realizing I will never be able to get it all. If you know what I mean. I will always have to think twice about my money and how I spend them. I will ever experience financial freedom. I don't know why it hits so hard today. Have you realized the same? How did you turn your mind around and became grateful for what you had? I feel both very sad and like an ungrateful brat. So think about that. If you were a therapist and a person came to you telling you about that, you probably know how we deal with cognitive behavioral therapy and, for example, ACT and so on. But here we have very important questions, and we have also great answers. So, Fat Cat, OP, I noticed in the comments that you mentioned that you're 30 and only 1 year or so post-college. I have been out of college a bit longer than you, and around the year mark, I too was feeling, oh god, is this my life? Fortunately, life is not so static. So yes, life is changing constantly. I had multiple jobs in less than a decade with salaries all over the board. Also, things you find important 1 year are not so important at all 3 years later. Your priorities and life expectations shift and change. This happens too while in school, but I think it happens more after you finish, and I don't think it's linked to maturity at all. You just now have more time to start exploring who you are and what you want out of life. Very important questions. Also very important to acknowledge and find out what are actually your core values. For me, for example, one core value is freedom. Freedom to be able to do therapy all over the world and while traveling. I have studied hard for over 20 years to be able to be a good therapist, and so this is one of my life goals. I'm saying this because I think if you're hyper focusing on a socially accepted life goal to pine after, much like I did, it's kind of like just taking the default character in an RPG versus taking the time to mess with all the sliders to really create something you like. And that's actually the same in your life. Creating the life that you want and taking notice on the values that you use along the way. So values are very important. Life's long, so take time to learn about yourself. Find out what goals you want engage in hobbies you think you would enjoy, and actively seek out new opportunities, adventures, experiences, whatever. I'm still learning about myself, and I'm betting it will be a lifelong project where my interests and goals change. That's actually true. We are expanding, we are becoming something more. And that's why it's really important to take notice of your values and the things that you find enjoyable. My in-laws didn't, and my Phil constantly moans about not being rich, though from my POV they very much are. So your point of view on wealth will probably change as well, as you could still reach your idea of what being rich is and still think, well, this isn't really rich, this is different. Then we have mirror. I'm not trying to get everything I want, just the most important things. Close, intimate friendships, a healthy work-life balance, I can minimize the time I need to spend at work, access to healthcare, and a few material possessions that add value to my life. Example, my car, best rig, music, collection, good food. Okay, so here we have someone who has, let's say, done a little bit of homework and actually knows what he wants and what his or her values are. So close, intimate friendships, a healthy work-life balance. So it's very important not to focus everything on just one aspect of your life, because in your life you have friendships, health, healthy work life, you have work, and all the other stuff. So you are rich in the things you put value in. Rich in family, rich in friends, rich in self-love. Very important. Yes, of course. Yes, of course, money would also solve so many of our problems, but if we only put value in the monetary aspect, we will always be poor no matter how much money is on a bank account. Yes, the thing with money is that the amount is usually, it's like Rockefeller said, you need just a little bit more to be enough, and it is usually never enough. So it is this, that's why it's very important to really focus on the things that you value the most and how you want to spend your time here on this earth. So the next one, there's always time to pursue new goals, learn new skills, and progress your career. It does require some hard work, but I don't think you need to resign yourself to work a low-wage job the rest of your life. It's up to you to figure out how hard you're willing to work and the risks you're willing to take to earn a larger salary. It's also helpful to remind yourself that rich people can be miserable too. Having more money isn't a guarantee of happiness. And the thing with money is, it is never feels like it's enough. Your desired salary just continues to go up even when you reach more comfortable levels. So being appreciative of what you currently have is always a good thing to work on. Therapy could help for sure. Yes, therapy could always help. So then we have this. I too work a low-wage job, €5 an hour, which isn't bad where I'm from, but it's still pretty ridiculous since I pay €300 per month to share an apartment. I'm also studying to become a neuropathic doctor, and it's hard, but then there's a kind of special satisfaction in doing what I'm doing, building my future and being the designer of my own life. And you could be too. So we can all be designers of our lives. When there is some dead time at work, I pick up the notebooks, and sometimes I feel like shit, like an underpaid rat going around, but most times I feel so powerful. I am hustling for myself, and you should too. My long-term goals? No idea. I'm happy where I am right now. If you're struggling about your future and settling for a version of yourself that's not ideal, maybe, definitely, you're not that okay with your situation. So we have a feral violinist. Out of curiosity, how old are you? If you are in your early adulthood, you will have opportunities to advance and make more money. I'm 29 and live a comfortable low middle class lifestyle, but I had a poor working class parents. There is room for social mobility, but it has to be realistic. Things that will affect your opportunities for financial improvements are things like how high the cost of living is in your area, choosing a partner who makes good financial choices, if you want to be in a relationship, choosing whether or not to have children, and living within your means. It sounds like you're already very aware of your financial limitation. It's important not to fall into the credit trap of buy now, pay later mentality. It is also important to utilize credit wisely. Your score is very important for improving your chances at decent housing and loan options. Being grateful for what you have is also important. My husband and I love traveling, but we don't indulge in luxury vacations because we can't afford it. We camp a lot and stay in budget hotels. We still have fun and try new things, but we had to work for 10 years to get to a point where we could take time off from work to travel. We still have, when we were in our early 20s, we lived with parent roommates, we drove shitty cars, we worked part-time and had to choose whether to pay a bill or buy food. It was a long road to get to this point. Financial independence doesn't happen overnight, and there will always be challenges when you're working class. There are real obstacles like housing shortage and inflation. You just have to keep at it and be mindful about each decision. I'm 30 and was done studying last year due to mental illness and I to the game. Thankfully, I do not want children, so no need for extra money here. My parents, blah blah blah. So if you're not late, You just have a different journey than some people. Yes, that's true. For what it's worth, my dad and stepmom only just recently became financially stable in their late 60s and early 70s. Also, not having children gives you so much more flexibility and freedom than we realize. It's one of the reasons I don't have kids, because I know it would drastically impact our finances. We couldn't afford daycare, so I'd have to give up my job and stay at home, which for women is social prison. I think you and your partner will be okay. You have a lot of years left to figure things out. Don't ever compare yourself to the success of others, because there will always be something you don't have. And there are people who probably look at what you have and feel you have it better. I have a friend who started med school when she was 32. It was a long road, but she got there in the end. There's always another opportunity around the corner. You just have to keep your eye out for them. Ignore the age rules, you will make it. Just takes time. I think if you want, there's still time to find a better paying job. I'm 40 now, but I'm making double what I was at 30. No massive changes, just the natural progression of my career and budgeting. But to your original question, try focusing on having enough. Do you have enough to pay for your basic necessities and the little pleasures that could delight you? Last year I started repeating to myself that I have enough and eventually started to believe it and be grateful for it because it's true. I feel rich anyway. The comforts and amazing inventions I have access to, the safety and freedoms as a woman that have historically not been afforded, the free time and ability to examine my navel, the availability of modern medicine, awareness of psychology, lovely regulated drugs, and alcohol. I live better than Henry VII. Well, when you put it like that, damn, we're pretty lucky, and that's coming from a major pessimist. Yeah, I guess that's a great way to look at it. So, another one, this is a deleted account. I think everyone feels like this to some extent, except maybe the 0.01%. I'm having this realization too, except my income will be above medium, but realizing that it will never be as high as some of my friends, if in engineering for instance, who are realizing that they will never be higher than some of my friends in finance, and so on. All the way up to the millionaire, realizing that he has maxed out and probably will never be a billionaire. Not invalidating how you feel. It's still a weird feeling to know something like that about your life, but just know you're not alone. So, Sinovex. You really got me, OP. I get it. A couple of key objective points to keep in mind. Humans are a social primate. we have societies with pecking orders. It's part of our natural condition, as it was for our ancestors and ad nauseam. What changed? Social media. Now you have the majority of the world able to efficiently compare their shortcomings against the top 0.001 of achievers in the field, whereas the pre-industrial societies, your only competition is a few hundred folk in the tribe. Mix this social pressure with a lack of personal relationships. Seriously, I know pecking orders sound bad, but being able to tolerate unpleasant experiences from others has been a core survival mode from all history. Why do you think people watch soap operas and HBO? We have an emotional primate need for sex, violence, and interpersonal social drama, and you have a time bomb of population slowly decaying into oblivion. Give it minutes, though, it would be that awful feeling within you. Who put it there? Who wouldn't want it there? Is this feeling ultimate reality, or is it just something that somebody wanted done to you? Let me know what you think. Interesting. So then the Palmot Alt says, how did you turn your mind around and became grateful for what you had? I feel both very sad and like ungrateful brat. I don't think you should feel grateful, nor should the rest of us. You've slaved for what little you have, and so have the rest of us. The fact that you have so little is a systematic failure, not a personal one. You are poor by design, and not only are you never going to get a slice of the pie, neither are the rest of us. My solution is to not be sad, but to channel that into righteous anger. What do you say, people? Is this truth? Is this the reality? And then we have Parrot the Platypus. The only thing I can say is that money doesn't create happiness when you got a roof over your head and food to eat, of course. But coming to terms with reality sucks sometimes. Focus on what makes you happy. Meaningful relationships, hobbies, family, seeing the world, helping others. All of this, but also OP, there is also something really fulfilling in making a goal for yourself and seeing it happen. Set a small goal for you, something you want. Maybe it's a new laptop, or maybe you want to buy one of those adjustable beds. Something that will require you to save money and work towards, but are achievable goals that you can reach in a year. Then we have another answer from Off the Point. Well, you never know. You could end up partnering with someone who could help you ease out of this into a better situation. But riches come in all shapes and sizes. It may not be in money. It could be in finding a good job you absolutely love, making good friends, having a kid who brings you endless joy, excellent health, etc. Keep your eyes open for those things. Then we have that one druid. I don't want the life everyone else has. I want the life I want. I spent a long time evaluating the life I want. The life I want only requires me to make 30 to 40k a year, currently going to school spending 10k a year. I don't aspire to own big fancy things, except for a big fancy computer to do my main hobbies on. I need a car to get me from A to B. I aspire to not own a car one day if self-driving car service become a thing. I aspire to make my living space look as good as possible without spending thousands of dollars remodeling it. I want a cat or two. I don't aspire to travel except to visit my family once every 5 years. Honestly, I feel rich. Yes, that's great advice. I can afford anything I want. I have just really narrowed in on what I want. My house could burn down tomorrow and things could be chaotic for a while, but my husband and I could replace our things rather quickly. I will also admit I'm privileged to have met my husband after he was already a homeowner on an extremely cheap manufactured home. Best place I have lived in one of the highest cost living areas in the US. He bought it during the 2008 recession for a shockingly cheap price. The only reason he found it at all was that he was looking for non-traditional living arrangements. So, then now I have the pastel herb. I definitely understand you. For me, the big realization was when I looked at my job and my finances and realized that I will have to keep doing this in some form until I'm very, very old. I have multiple mental illnesses and I'm so tired. It's hard to imagine another 35 years of the grind until I can maybe retire if I save and invest my money carefully enough, but that's the reality. I want nothing more but to stop working and just take a break and then focus on my hobbies, on learning and improving myself and the things that are fun. Living into the day and deciding by myself how I will spend my time. I did it once before when I flunked out of college on my first try. Had 2 years off when I did nothing but some part-time work and it was genuinely the best time of my life. But I can't keep doing that, and I still worked. And now I already have a cushy job in a field where I'm talented and don't have to struggle hard, and yet I still dread work every day and wish I could stop. Because it's not my time and it's 35 more years at least of selling myself to survive. Yeah, if you don't have a cause, a mission, a purpose, then it is like that. I try to remind myself of how rich I am compared to others. My comfy job, living in a first world country, having enough food and clothes, hell, just having clean running water is a luxury some people don't have. I am blessed in many, many ways, but I still feel tired all the time and dream of winning the lottery. So I get it. So, OP, I know you haven't asked for advice, but I'd like to strongly recommend investing whatever money you can spare, save every month. Small but consistent savings in something like stocks or mutual funds can really add up to a lot over a couple of decades. Do look into it at the very least. There's a ton of video on YouTube. Okay. So we have a little bit of fire movement. So we can attack. The thing is, you can become rich at any age to start with. For all you know, you could enter the lottery and win it. Yes, I like yeah, but it's not impossible. Yeah, that's something to look after and hope for. That being said, I feel like everyone's goal shouldn't be get rich. It should be get financially stable and happy with my career choices. We idolize the rich and they are rightfully successful. I understand why, but honestly, it's not as amazing as it's cracked up to be all the time. That's like fame. So many people want to be famous but don't understand the pressure that comes with it and how unstable most of these people in Hollywood actually are. With money, it's more, you have a lot more to lose. Not to say money isn't important, it totally is, but focus on being stable. Start getting into investments more, read some books on it, and do your research. It's okay to take your time too. You live in one body right now, enjoy it while you can. So then we have don't tell me what can't no. My advice, move. If you feel stagnant and you're not in a relationship or have children that require care in your area, then move. You could even move out of the country. The world is yours. I am American and I just moved from my hometown. Our bills are less here and we make more and have better benefits. Yeah, I was so scared. I had panic attacks about it, but now I'm glad for this new adventure. Adventures out there. Go find it. So then we have someone by living in a Western country, you are already richer than the vast majority of people on Earth. Everything is relative, so practice gratitude. Yeah, gratitude is a great thing to say. That's how life, the systems in which we operate through, works. It's okay not to be rich, though. May we someday live in a world where all of our needs are met. I got started in tech. I wish I could have started earlier. You are capable of getting rich. It's just a rocky, tough path. So that's it for today, folks. Hope you had a great time and wish you the best for next time.